Listen, I continue to have this very significant interest in Gavin Newsom as a possible 2024 contender if indeed Joe Biden were to not run for reelection. Gavin Newsom is not the uber progressive candidate that maybe I would dream of, but you go to war with the army you have, not the army you wish you had. And Gavin Newsom is doing something very, very important. He is accurately, concisely, and forcefully describing some of the obvious lies that Republicans are telling and that voters are falling for. And I have to tell you, he's using critical language about Democrats, but it is sort of tough love. And Democrats are terrible on messaging on so many issues. This issue of crime in Democrat states and cities is just a disaster. Last week, I told you all that in the Oklahoma gubernatorial debate, it was correctly mentioned by candidate Hoffmeister that the rate of violent crime in Oklahoma and Oklahoma City is higher than the rate of violent crime in New York State and New York City, respectively. And that is absolutely the case. On MSNBC, Gavin Newsom, interviewed by a seemingly smitten Alex Wagner, who was just enthralled with what he was saying, as she should be, because he is accurate when he talks about this stuff, saying, why aren't we doing better on this? The numbers are on our side.
It's not just a messaging problem, but a messaging problem that has persisted with our party for years and years, constantly on the defense. We allow these culture wars to take shape, and we consistently are on the back end of them. 8 of the top 10 states with the highest murder rates, all are Republican states.
Yes.
How do Democrats not know that? In fact, it's really 9 out of 10. Georgia went for Biden, but it's really a Republican state, or at least a red state. 8 out of 10. And we're losing that message? Crime is higher, as well as taxes here for the average citizen. In Texas, it's higher, violent crime and property crimes than in the state of California. 67% higher gun death rate in Texas. Why don't we push back?
I don't know the answer to that. Why don't we push back? And remember, in my story last week, we looked at some of this data. And one of the things that you see, as I mentioned, is that you've got Washington, D.C., with a very high violent crime rate in 2019. And also we have the numbers now for 2020. But you basically have red states. It's Alaska where violent crime is high. New Mexico is a blue state. Tennessee, red state. Arkansas, red state. Arizona went Biden, but basically a red state. Louisiana, Missouri, South Carolina, South Dakota. You've got to get down to Michigan before you get an actual another blue state. And then it's Montana, Nevada, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas. And then you get to California. And then you're almost halfway done with the list. You're almost at 25. Okay. It's similar to the repeated claims that Republicans are good for the economy. These are just lies, folks. We're going to lower the taxes and then it'll encourage investment, and then just everything's going to be great, and the stock market will do well, and unemployment will be low. Folks, go to the numbers. The numbers aren't secret. If you have access to Google, you can find the primary source numbers. Overall, the economy does better by the following metrics under Democrats. Unemployment rate is lower. Job creation is higher. Inflation is lower. GDP growth is higher. Stock market returns are higher. There's many others, okay? Now, if you want to make a case that even though the numbers are better when Democrats are in the White House, it's actually thanks to Republicans because of either a lag time, which has been debunked, or because of who controls the House mattering more, it's also been debunked. Or right, but you've got to start with the data. And that's what the data is. I like what Gavin Newsom is doing. I like what Gavin Newsom is saying.